Welcome back to the Diamond K Show. Of course, radioonfire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. 14 days. 14 days left until Election Day. That's what we are looking at. Time is moving along. The most important election in the history of this country. Definitely, it is everyone's right to vote. You have that right. If anybody tries to stop you, make sure that you call the Election Protection Hotline, 866-687-8683. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of things today. Ice Cube, going to be something that we discuss, and some backlash that the rapper, the producer, the actor, and the activist is facing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Diddy and the political party that Diddy has started. We're going to talk about that. And a number of other things. So much early voting, of course, has been underway. And Election Day is always the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. That's when it is. But as you well know, just because that's Election Day, that doesn't mean that is the singular time when American elections happen. Polls are open, early voting. This year, November the 3rd, instead represents the end of a 6-week sprint in America. Record number of people hitting the polls to cast their ballots in advance. Of course, we have a pandemic going on. And it has really accelerated the move for people to do this non-traditional method of voting. Early voting is something that has happened, but not in these numbers, record numbers. So if you need to find early voting locations, need to find where to vote early, you can visit vote.org. Vote.org. If you're not sure if you're registered to vote, you can get help finding out if you indeed are registered, or if you can register and anything like that. As I said, vote.org is where you go. And if you don't want to vote in person, of course, you can vote by mail, right? Can vote by mail. So this is something that I did not see coming. Let me say that. Ice Cube, the rapper, who is somebody who has always been, politically motivated. He's talked about things that was, happening in the hood in LA, where he is from, California. And the backlash that Ice Cube has been facing, I think, deserves some dissecting. Now, I would have done this earlier. Over the weekend, I was in Atlanta filming some things. And I wanted to really take some time to really dive in on this situation. Of course, you can let us know your thoughts on this Ice Cube debacle. it is a debacle. 404-436-1277. You can always join the program. So let's get back to this Ice Cube thing. So some people wondering, what was Ice Cube thinking? right? The hip hop legend, activist, um, and he's been talking about this contract with Black America. And as he has been talking about it, I guess like in the springtime, started talking about it. It was something that I was excited about hearing. I liked the concept, I liked the idea, and what he represented with it. And I still do like it. So, what's the problem? What is the controversy? Why are people, giving Ice Cube backlash? The hip hop legend and an activist and a mogul, a media mogul, right? And so he has this contract with Black America, and it is something that for a long time I thought was needed, and that is Black people coming forth with a list of demands that they want from people in power. And I think that, in essence, is a good idea, right? We have things that we are demanding. What are these things? Everybody has different agendas. Some things are important to other people. Might be important to you. This might not be important to you. And that's what we have going on, right? So Ice Cube released his uh I guess it was late in August. The contract with Black America that came out amidst this ongoing global pandemic. And so, professor and economist Derek Hamilton um, wrote about the document and what they hope to accomplish with it. Ice Cube said that he wanted to talk to people in power, people that could actually implement some of the things that are in this document. That makes sense, right? So, what on its surface, on paper, that makes sense. Now, where people may get confused, where people might, you know, have some disagreement is with regards to the inclusion of Donald Trump or speaking to people that represent Trump, right? So the economist and the professor Hamilton, Derek Hamilton, says that he was encouraged by the movement that he'd seen around the world, and he wrote that younger generations and social movements may be redefining economic good to embrace the principles of humanity. And this is what the contract with Black America is: a patriotic pathway to promote our shared prosperity and achieve racial economic justice. That's what he said about it. And so if that is the case, right? Why would Trump, being who he is, why would he be interested in the contract with Black America at all? And why would Ice Cube want to talk to Trump's people about it? That's what a lot of people are asking. That's what a lot of people are confused about. If this is a document, if this represents what you say that it does, from what we know about Trump, from what we've seen from Trump, from what we've heard Trump say out of his own mouth, why would you sit down and talk with his people about it? That's the question. And I think it's a valid question. Now, Ice Cube saying that he want to talk to people in power. Me personally, I have a major issue with taking anything that Donald Trump says as a fact, as truth. Even if he sat down with Donald Trump personally. Ice Cube, for the record, says he never has met Donald Trump or sat down with him, right? Or been to the White House. If Donald Trump sat in front of Ice Cube and said yes to everything that is in the 22-page document that Ice Cube and others have put together called the Contract of Black America, if Donald Trump agreed to everything in there, that means we won. That means that we're able to believe what he's saying. Moreover, that he's going to do what he's saying. This is the same person that said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. Right? He didn't build no wall and Mexico was going to pay for nothing. This is the same person that said that COVID-19 was going to magically disappear. This is the same person that currently is saying that we're bending the curve as infection rates rise. My point being, how can we sit down with Donald Trump and talk about anything of substance and what has been accomplished once you have that conversation with him or his people? Right? What has really been accomplished? They used him as propaganda. And Ice Cube said, well, the Biden team would have used me too, right? And that may be true. And for the record, people have accused Ice Cube of going to the campaigns. Ice Cube, for his part, says the campaigns came to him. He has been, out promoting this concept of the contract with Black America, which I like. And essentially, it's saying that they have these demands, and if you're really trying to help Black people, politician, you need to get on board with this contract with us. Both campaigns, the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign, have their own, their own attempt at enticing the Black vote. Trump has what he calls the Platinum Plan, and the Biden campaign has the Lift Every Voice, right? Both titles are pandering to me. But, names aside, I understand why both campaigns want to be associated with the contract with Black America, because they need Black Americans' support. The optics look good. But let's understand this. Some people are not worth sitting down with. It's like you say, all money ain't good money. Just like Ice Cube wouldn't sign any recording contract, just any old recording contract. And he may have said, coming up as a rapper, we just doing this for the love. And then over time, he saw he could make money in it, and he started to make money and made lots of it. He made changes, right? So when he says that, he said he's going to speak to people in power, we don't know if Donald Trump is going to be in power. So this close to the election, why wouldn't he wait to find out who the winner was? Because to me, the optics of this look bad. Let's say that Biden wins, right? Now Cube has to get all this stank off him of the Trump stank That sort of, you know what I mean? It will he still be the correct messenger to even present the contract with Black America? Now, some people are not excited about Biden, and I understand that. I'm also one of the people who is not excited about Joe Biden. But Donald Trump is toxic for the world. Toxic for the world. So, Donald Trump has allowed a plague to kill over 200,000 Americans. Right? I wonder if someone in Cube's family was affected fatally by this pandemic. Would he be so quick to sit down with Donald Trump or Team Trump and allow himself to be spun as a supporter of Trump, right? Too close to the election. So if he doesn't want to be used by either party, why even sit down with them at all right now? Why not wait till after the election? Right? That's my thoughts. Ice Cube said that the Biden campaign said they liked, generally, Cube's words, 85% of the plan, but they wanted to talk about it after the election, right? It's too close to the election right now. Anything that's done right now seems to be pandering. It's like your kid's been bad all year, right? The people that do the Christmas thing, right? And then 1st of December, they start acting good. They wonder what they're going to get for Christmas, right? It's too late. You need to worry about next Christmas, maybe your birthday, right? But in December, you can't turn around and be a model, kid and think that you're going to get all the gifts or your birthday, whatever, right? So we are inside of 14 days before the election. Now, these campaigns are going to sit and start talking about Black issues. Now, they're releasing the plans now. Where were these plans months ago, years ago? Where were these plans the beginning of your campaign, right? Now, to me, Ice Cube and the good folks that have contributed to the contract with Black America, now these overtures are not genuine from these campaigns. Now, I understand that the pandemic spearheaded a lot of this, but I'm just saying, the platinum plan that the Trump campaign is pushing is very vague. One page. It's crap. And let's understand that this is coming from the people that want to kill Obamacare. Now, I understand Obamacare may not be that big of a deal to Cube, but let's understand that it is significant to the very people, some of the very people, that he's trying to help in this contract with Black America. Right? So, Cube says that neither side of the political equation cares enough about Black people. That is true. That is true. Now, that does not make them both equal. But yes, neither side has had our best interests in heart. But which side has had a more likelihood of being an ally to the Black community? Come on. That's an obvious question. So that is the one that you should target, my opinion. Targeting Trump, aligning yourself with Trump is just a disaster. Trump does not care about his own voters. The people that have the Trump flags up, he doesn't care about them. Those are the ones that they're going to drink the bleach that he talks about, or we're trying to take hydroxychloroquine, or think that somehow they beat the virus because Trump said he beat the virus. Trump doesn't even care about those people. Trump does not care about those people. So what makes Ice Cube think that sitting down with him is going to have any type of positive effect on the credibility of the contract with Black America, on the credibility of Ice Cube? Well, I mean, it's just, we've seen it time after time. People aligning themselves with Trump and it just being thrown away by the wayside, damaged goods. This is generals. This is politicians. These strippers, attorneys, actors, singers. So why Ice Cube is being so, oh, I said I was going to do it. I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know. I don't know. Because here's the thing. You can't trust what Trump says. Ask wife number 2. Ask wife number 1. Ask the current girl. You can't trust what Trump is saying. Come on, Cube. You didn't trust Jerry Heller. You can't trust Donald Trump. All right. Now, for the people that don't know what I'm talking about, Jerry Heller was a manager of the NWA group that Ice Cube was in, left the group because he didn't trust Jerry Heller. But you're going to sit down and tell me, Cube, come on. You're going to say that you can trust Donald Trump, but you didn't trust Jerry Heller. Makes no sense. Who do you think stole more money? Jerry Heller or Donald Trump? Well, anyway, there's a lot of controversy about this meeting between Ice Cube and the Trump team. But he did speak to Biden's people. But Trump's senior advisor, Katrina Pearson, last week spoke about Cube's willingness to step up and work with the Trump administration to help develop the Platinum Plan. So Cube has been catching hell from that. He did not disavow it. He wasn't saying that he was endorsing Trump, but you ain't got to say it, right? You ain't got to say it. You did all the things to look like you're endorsing. You ain't got to say you endorse. Your actions, right? Spoke louder. Yeah. So, so both campaigns. So he said he had a Zoom call with the Biden campaign. And people on the call, from Congress to people working directly with the Biden campaign. That's what Cube had. They said that basically, this is with the Biden campaign. Basically, they want to win the election, and then they want to bring him in to discuss it and try to get things pushed through. Basically, a seat at the table situation. To me, at this point in the election, that's what makes sense, right? It's mad late in the election, right? Okay. Unless you endorse it, it ain't really, it's not really trying to make some moves 14 days before the election, or if you even last week, right? It's a little late in the game to try to throw in some substitutions. Now, I rank Ice Cube very high in my list of rappers. I think that Ice Cube is super smart, right? And I think that Ice Cube is really trying to, I think that he's being honest from the standpoint of he does not trust either party. He thinks that both parties do not have Black Americans' interest in heart. I agree with that. And I don't think he's endorsing Trump. I just think that he's being a bit naive if he thinks that both parties, both campaigns would spin this, right? But the spin and the stink of Trump is just it's very damaging to the cause. Many of the people, many of the black people gonna be looking at him sideways now. And I don't think it was his intention to help the Trump campaign. I don't. But then we start getting into these back and forths. DL Hughley and Cube have been going back and forth. And DL Hughley just saying, like, talking like reckless. Cube's not qualified to speak, that kind of stuff. Cube's very qualified to speak. And he's a very intelligent guy. And he's not alone in this. He has others that are helping. So, it's just there's a lot. And I got time for it tonight. Just tuning in, it's the Diamond K Show, radioandfire.com, thediamondkshow.com. We are talking about Ice Cube, the backlash that Ice Cube has been getting from all sides, but mainly he's getting the backlash from the very people that the contract with Black America is trying to help, which is ironic. It is very ironic. So he goes on, Cube, and he says that he got contacted by the Trump administration. And the Trump administration said to Cube that they saw his contract with Black America, and we have a platinum plan. We like to pump up our platinum plan because it's only one page. They want to pump up the platinum plan because we know minority is a trick word. Now, when you talk about minority, a lot of times people, Black community, don't like that. If I could use classification, right? Because Black people specifically are in our own lane, and we're sometimes grouped with others, but we have our own set of grievances that are completely separate from everybody else. And this is, I mean, the contract with Black America, which I have read, I agree. I like the contract with Black America, and I want to see it happen. And anything that I can do to help it, I will. What we're talking about, because I'm not dumping on Ice Cube. What I am doing is I'm saying everybody makes mistakes or a move. Shouldn't turn that way, turn this way. You know what I mean? I still support everything he's doing. I'm just saying that I don't want this backlash to tarnish what he is trying to do. Okay. So for the record, let's make this clear. Ice Cube has never met Trump. He did not go to the White House. Now, he said that he met and talked with the campaign at a hotel. And when they brought out their plan, they implemented some things that they had gotten out of the contract with Black America. So, that the fact that those discussions went further, but let's say this: Joe Biden's plan, the Trump plan are very light. It's very vague. We don't know exactly what's going on. To me, they just sound like fluff. So meeting with somebody like Ice Cube makes sense for the campaigns. Makes sense. Right. So minority, people of color, diversity, urban. These words don't necessarily mean money is going to get into the hands of Black families. And at the end of the day, we are talking about economic empowerment. Economic empowerment. Now, what the biggest issue when you have this minority thing, is that you have other groups of people included in this pot, and then Black Americans still get the short end of the stick. That's the thing. The word minority has just it includes a lot of different things. So when you talk about the contract for Black America, that is specific. That is specific. So I don't think that Cube meant wrong. I think that he wanted to stand by his word. He wanted to continue this ball and get this ball rolling. Um, I just hope, that others who are looking or would have been interested in helping with the contract with Black America are now not turned off because of this controversy. I hope that is not the case. So I'm anxious to hear people's thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And the show is going to continue. I'm not done yet. We're going to talk about Diddy in a minute and his political party. Diddy started a political party. Whoa. That's a lot. Is Diddy the right person to start a political party for Black people? Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more of the program after this. Okay, so you made Diamond K in here, radioonfire.com, thediamondkshow.com. 14 days. We are 14 days away from election day, which is really going to be election week. We will have coverage. I will be joined by various people for our election day special. I am looking forward to it. Again, on radioonfire.com, thediamondkshow.com. And I talked about locating your polling place, finding early voting, locating a drop box. You can do all that stuff at vote.org. Hang on a minute. I need to. All right. So let's do this. Diddy. Everybody knows Diddy, right? Let me say this. This next story is not about Diddy's white party. Not going to talk about Bad Boy or any of that stuff. Diddy has announced the formation of what he calls our Black Party. And, the thing about our Black Party is that Diddy says that before you were Democrat or Republican, you were Black first. And that is the focus point. And then I'm assuming they could build a platform from there. This is what people call identity politics. So the issue or the challenge is that it is something that is exclusive. So it's an exclusive club, right? Our Black Party is obviously aimed at Black Americans. And Diddy says that he was disappointed with the state of politics as it pertains to Black Americans. And here's what I like about it. I like that someone so entrenched in music and someone that has been at the forefront of style and fashion and entertainment for so many years is taking an interest in politics, because that shows me that an influencer like Diddy can bring others who are not necessarily that into politics, can bring them on board. So I like that. I like him as an ambassador and a spokesman. But sometimes he gets out there and he talks crazy. Diddy, I'm talking about, right? And if you remember, over the summer, he came under fire for telling people to hold the vote hostage this November. I was very critical of Diddy, very critical. And now Diddy wants to mobilize Black Americans with the Our Black Party. He announced this back in July. And we didn't really talk about it. And he's trying to promote it more. And I don't know if he's the guy to spearhead a political party. He can spearhead, vote or die, or rock the vote. But the political party thing, that is significant. That is a significant thing. I mean, because then you think about somebody like Kanye talking some foolishness about a birthday party. Because if he gets in the office, it's gonna be like everybody's birthday. I mean, foolishness like that. And so Diddy had a sit down with Charlemagne. That Diddy's a weird guy for this. He's a weird guy for this. But I like the goal. The goal per Diddy is to unify behind a Black agenda. So we got Ice Cube with the contract with Black America. That's trying to push forward a Black agenda. Charlemagne on his show, on the Breakfast Club, he was always talking about, does this candidate have a Black agenda? Does that candidate have a Black agenda? That is good, right? And Diddy is rubbing off on Diddy, and Diddy wants to or has started a political party that his number one goal is to unify behind a Black agenda. I like this, right? Some of the stuff's going to work. Some of the stuff may not. But the more people we have doing it, the better. Right? So Diddy had this sit down with Charlemagne. And some of the stuff he said on the sit down, I just like, what are you talking about? Right? He reluctantly endorsed Joe Biden after he talked all this trash about him. But, I'm not super excited about Joe Biden, but we have to get a competent person in the White House because the world is in danger with Trump in office. So you have this. And he said that our Black Party's 2020 goal is getting President Trump out of office. All right. Well, I mean, you got off to a rough start considering the fact that you spent the spring talking trash about Biden, and now you're whatever. But politicians do that frequently. You'll frequently see politicians, the very ones that are supporting Trump now, were talking trash about him when he was running, and now they support him. So that is something that happens often in politics. Diddy was talking about he believes a race war will come if Trump is elected. I don't. If Trump gets elected, a lot of the racists will be happy. What are they starting a war for? Maybe the war comes if he doesn't get elected. Well, why would they? Well, yeah, I mean that's my logic, right? And so does he think that the race war comes if the racist candidate wins, but if the racist candidate loses, then the racists say, all right, we good? You beat us? We'll try again in 4 years? I mean, Diddy's logic here just doesn't make any sense. Now, he did have a point when he said that Trump is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in this situation. Now, people were against each other before. Now, Trump has put a battery in a lot of people's backs. That is true. That is definitely true. So, according to our Black Party's official website, the party is an FEC registered political committee recognized under Section 527, though it does not yet have ballot status. So when they get ballot status, what does that mean? That means they're actually going to be able to have candidates that run under the Our Black Party's banner. And, maybe get some people elected. Well, that's interesting. Diddy, 50 years old, described the November 3rd election as a tipping point and criticized both candidates for not acknowledging the youth or the Black and Latino communities in their now infamous first debate. So Diddy he's saying things, some things that I agree with, some things that are kind of ridiculous, but that is something that's pretty constant of Diddy. And the Our Black Party is a departure from the Vote or Die initiative that Diddy was a part of back in 2004, which he said guilted people into voting. Diddy has campaigned for Democrats, but he was critical. He was critical of Obama at some points in time. Wasn't rocking with that too much, but the critiques, you can critique anybody, right? And there were definitely things that could have been better, but too much criticizing and not enough rolling up the sleeves. And then a lot of people, Diddy included, they check out after the election happens. So after the election party, right? After the victory celebration, did all that dancing, then they just check out until election time. You got to stay engaged for the full term, right? Stay engaged. See, in Diddy, definitely, a lot of people use that album promotion mentality, right? You got a couple singles, push these couple singles, and then you don't think about the album no more, right? That's how record companies do. Diddy has done that, right? You still have good songs that you still could have been promoting on that album. So if you look at these, an administration or a politician get in office as an album that you released a video for every song, Diddy, pushing every single song, aka staying engaged for the complete term of the candidate, not just during campaign season, right? That's what we're going to get these results. But if we're only talking about what we need, aka what we demand, only during the campaign time, and don't bring it up no more until the next campaign time, of course nothing's going to get done. So I'm excited to see more Black people politically engaged. I'm excited to see that. Now, I want people, because whatever we're a part of, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's real estate, whatever it is, if we get fully invested and fully engaged, we excel. And the more of us that get involved in politics and understand it, not just during campaign season, but through the entire cycle of the candidate, holding these candidates accountable, the more we do that, the more we're going to excel. Now, we have to change the system. There's a lot of things about the system that are stacked against us. A lot of things, most of it. But that's been the case with everything in this country. It's the case with everything in this country. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Would you join Diddy's Our Black Party? I like to hear that. Let me know. Also, 404-436-1277. So, let me go to some comments. All right. Lisa Allen says, "Hey, bro, keep pushing. God has great plans for you. Don't despise small beginning." Okay, I guess I understand what she's saying. And shout out to you. I definitely would like to see more and more people of substance need to be involved to help round out some of these ideas. It just can't only be Diddy's vision of politics, because Diddy's vision of politics is very, it still needs more development. Still needs more development. Diddy said this. I did like this. I'm a black nationalist. I'm unapologetically black. I have to take care of the tribe first. I cannot sit here and watch. This is my blood family. I love everybody, but right now I got to make moves and I got to use my power for the advancement of black people because we are last. I feel him on that. I do. And of course, you had one of the Dandy Kane members, Danny Kane. What is that? What they call it, right? One of those young ladies. I think this is the one that was messing with Trump. She was talking crazy about Diddy. And whenever you talk about Diddy, of course, people talk about the artist and different bad boy contracts, etc. But let's understand this: the contracts that the white record companies were giving out severely worse. But, you should do people right. I mean, they're just quick to throw that on Diddy, but you can throw that on every record company in the world. So throw it on all of them. Don't just throw it on Diddy, right? Jimmy Iovine's contracts wasn't all that, right? Okay. Them Geffen contracts wasn't all that. Those Clive Davis contracts wasn't all that. But whenever those guys come out, people, when Beats came out, they wasn't talking about Jimmy Iovine was, robbing one of the artists. But Diddy gets that for some reason. And I guess that's just what it is. that's just what it is. But will you join Diddy's Our Black Party? Like to know your thoughts on that. Let's take a quick break. Come back with more of the program. Quick break. We'll be right back. And we are back. RadioOnFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. So this week, looking forward to this. I didn't think it was going to happen, to be honest with you. I did not think it was going to happen. But President Trump plans to debate Joe Biden despite the rule changes, which include muted microphones. So we are going to get a debate. I didn't know for sure if it was going to happen. But Trump says that he's going to attend the debate. Now, the rule changes, which are opposed by his campaign, of course, are meant to bring more order to the discussions. So Trump's campaign manager says that Trump is committed to debating Joe Biden regardless of last-minute rule changes from the biased commission in their latest attempt to provide an advantage to their favored candidate. So the muted microphones, they said, is an advantage for Joe Biden. It's just something so you don't talk out of turn, Trump people. The commission is nonpartisan. And the Commission on the Presidential Debates announced today that the second and final debate between these two presidential candidates is going to be different than the first one. Each nominee will be muted while the other delivers his 2-minute remarks at the outset of each of the 6 debate topics. So what's going to happen? People are going to still be talking when the mics are muted. We're going to hear it bleed over into the other mic. It's going to sound like a heckler in the crowd. The remainder of each 15-minute block will be an open discussion without any muting. So you're still going to get the opportunity to talk over. It's still going to be a fiasco, and I'm still here for it. This is going to be very interesting. The Biden campaign, I'm sure, is welcoming this attempt to bring things in more order than what they have been. So very interesting. We will definitely be here watching it, and you can watch it with us, radioonfire.com. We're going to be having pre-coverage and post-coverage of this final debate. 14 days out. You don't know who you're voting for now. You have, I don't know, maybe you've been asleep, but you should already know the decision that you need to make, which is very important. You can advertise with Radio on Fire. Connect your message with our engaged audience of over 350,000 listeners and viewers. Visit radioonfire.com/advertise. You can follow the Diamond K Show on Spotify or your favorite podcast network. New shows drop daily. radioonfire.com, thediamondkshow.com, and of course, you can always support the program via Cash App, and that is $DJ Diamond K. Of course, your donations help us continue to do what we do here on the Diamond K Show, and that is to bring you independent news, progressive opinion on politics, social issues, entertainment, and much more. Media request, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having vision, and I will see you guys tomorrow.